Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were discussing harf of light verbs. We gave one example for lan yesterday. Today I will give you example for an, lan, an, kai, izan, hatta li. So I will give you example for other harf of light verbs. So an example for an means that. So this that is gonna be used along with verb. So here's an example. I said that he opens the door. Please remember that the harf of light verb will only show its effect on present tense verbs. Okay, so I said that he opened the door. For opened in past tense, it is not going to show any effect at all, but only when a present tense verb is present after the harf of light verb is used, then it will show its effect on the it will show its effect on the present tense verb. Okay, so I said that he opens the door. I said, well, this is a weak verb, but it's a good time to introduce you to the concept of weak verbs. So weak verbs, for I said, the translation is qultu. So you see, qultu, the root letters are actually qaf, waw, lam. So there is waw in between, and I have told you again and again that when a verb has waw, ya, or alif maksura, any of these three letters as its root letters. In the beginning I used to say that if it has waw, ya, or alif, but at that time I didn't want to introduce you to alif maksura. I'm telling you now that if the root letters are waw, ya, or alif maksura is this letter on your screen. If these three are a root letter of the verb, then that verb is called weak verb. And weak verbs act strangely. Well, these letters, these symbols, these alphabets act strangely in the sentence. So here is an example of strange behavior. Well, this strange behavior is fixed. Its pattern is fixed. So if there is waw as the first root letter, always the same pattern will be there. Waw as the second root letter, always the same pattern will be there. Waw as the third root letter, always the same pattern will be there. But different for first letter, second letter, and third. I mean, you understand. So where the weak verb is placed, whether first letter, second letter, or third letter, as well as which weak letter is placed. So there are gonna be 9 different patterns. You understand? Waw can be the first letter, ya can be the first letter, alif maksura can never be the first letter. So no, not 9 patterns, 7 patterns rather. So alif maksura is always gonna be last letter only. So ya can be the first letter, ya can be the second letter, ya can be the last letter. So depending upon where the verb is placed, each time a different pattern is there. Weak verb will be our next topic after the harf, but I am just introducing you into this topic because it is good that when weak verbs come, it will not be the first time you will hearing all of this. So over here, the root letter, the weak letter, the weak verb has the weak letter. Weak letter means waw, ya, or alif maksura. It is a weak letter which is waw. So you see, waw has become dhamma here, over here. You see, qultu. So instead of qultu, qaf, waw, lam, or qawltu, whatever you want to say, it became qultu. Okay, so actually the waw became dhamma. And if I tell you immediately, it will be qultu, qulta, qulti, like fatahtu, fatahta, fatahti. But instead of fataha, it will be qala. You would imagine it will be qula, but it became qala, qalat. So then the waw also became alif. Okay, so waw sometimes became dhamma, sometimes became alif. So as I said, it is acting strangely. But once you memorize qultu, qulta, qulti, qala, qalat, you are gonna know each and every verb which has waw as its root letters, waw as its middle root letter. You are gonna know that it is gonna follow this pattern only. Whether kuntu, kunta, kunti, kana, kanat, whether qultu, qulta, qulti, qala, qalat, whether, so all of them are gonna follow the same pattern. So I just introduced you slightly to it. Anyway, so I said qultu, that an, he opens is yaftahu, but this an is gonna make this yaftahu turn into light verb. So this yaftahu will become yaftaha. So qultu an yaftaha, he opens the door, al-baba, in case 2, because the door is the object of the verb. So he opens the door, yaftahu al-baba. But because of this harf of light verb, this yaftahu became yaftaha. So qultu an yaftah al-baba. Next example, kai. Kai means so that. So that over here, I have given you the example. He worshipped Allah so that he succeeds. So he worshipped Allah. Here the verb is in past tense, but you see, so that, this will be kai, and after that there will be present tense, he succeeds, and this he succeeds is in present tense, and kai is gonna affect this he succeeds. So he worshipped Allah. How to say this? He worshipped. So abada is he worshipped. Okay, ain badal. Ibada word also is derived from this word only. Ain badal, ibadat. Okay, so abada, he worshipped. Abadtu, abadta, abadti, abada, abadat. Okay, abadana, abadtum, abadtunna, ãbduhu, abada. Okay, so abada means he worshipped. So he worshipped Allah. The word Allah will be in case 2 because the word Allah is the object of the verb abada. So he worshipped Allah, abada Allah, so that he succeeds. Now he succeeds. Falaha is the past tense of falaha for he succeeds. You know, in Urdu we say falah pana. Okay, falah pana. This is usne falah paya. So falah means he got success. Usne falah paya in Urdu, not in Arabic. Okay, so now he succeeds. Falaha in past tense. In present tense it will be yaflahu. Right? Aflahu. Falaha. Falahtu. Falahta. Falahti. Falaha. Falahat. And in present tense will be aflahu, taflahu, taflahina, like aftahu, taftahu, taftahina, aflahu, taflahu, taflahina, yaflahu, taflahu. So yaflahu, he succeeds in present tense. So that he succeeds. Now because of kai, because of so that, this yaflahu will become yaflaha. So abadallaha kai yaflaha. That's it. Okay, abadallaha kai yaflaha. Then we come to the next example, Izan. Now yesterday I forgot to say Izan can be both spellings. Izan can be this with double fatha as well as noon, ending in noon. Both spellings of Izan are correct. You can write it in any way. In Quran both spellings are used. Okay, so Izan means if. So now we go to the next example, which is I think hatta. Okay, so hatta, I told you this can be used with ism as well, and over here it is being used with verb. Let me give an example for verb, hatta with a verb. And here's an example: Allah forgives until his slave seeks forgiveness. So Allah keeps forgiving until his slave seeks forgiveness. So Allah keeps forgiving, or Allah forgives. In Arabic there is no present continuous tense and simple present tense. Okay, just present tense is present tense, past tense is past tense, no present perfect, present continuous, etc, etc. So Allah forgives is equal to Allah is forgiving. Okay, so Allah forgives will be written as Ghafara. Ghafara is he forgave. Okay, he forgave. So in present tense, Yaghfiru. Now this Yaghfiru, Ghafara, Yaghfiru, instead of there was yaftahu. Why over here Yaghfiru? Why not Yaghfaru? Because I told you the middle letter can have any symbol. It can sometimes have dhamma, it can sometimes have fatha, it can sometimes have kasra. Mostly it has fatha. Sometimes it has kasra. Few times it has dhamma. So anyways, Ghafara in past tense, and in future tense, present tense, it is Yaghfiru, not Yaghfaru. Anyways, so we come to Yaghfiru Allahu. Okay, Allah forgives. So Yaghfiru Allahu. Allah is the doer of the verb. The word Allah is the doer of the verb. So Yaghfiru Allahu, hatta, until. Now his slave seeks forgiveness. If you see, Istaghfara is the word. You haven't. This is called sarf. Istaghfara means seeking forgiveness. Ghafara, you see in front of Ghafara there is alif and sin added. And ta also added. Istaghfara. Okay, so istaghfara, yastaghfiru. Actually, I shouldn't have given you this example. This is too tough for you to understand right now. This is belonging to the topic of sarf. Now sometimes there can be additional letters added to the root letters. Ghafara are the root letters, and there is alif, seen, and ta added as an additional letter in front of this root letter, these root letters of the verb, and these additional letters are actually influencing, actually providing a hidden meaning to the original verb. So the hidden meaning over here is seeking. So if Ghafara means to forgive, then if someone adds alif, sin and ta in the beginning of in the beginning of any verb, then this becomes to seek that verb. So if Ghafara means to forgive, then Istaghfara means to seek forgiveness. So this is actually what we will study in the topic of sarf. Yastaghfiru, basically the word yastaghfiru means he seeks forgiveness, and over here the yastaghfiru became yastaghfara because of hatta yastaghfara, ãbduhu, his slave. So Allah forgives, Yaghfiru Allahu hatta until yastaghfara ãbduhu, his slave seeks forgiveness. If you didn't understand this example, this yastaghfiru, yastaghfara, etc., do not worry about it. And final example for li. I did it because I want it. Fa'altuhu, I did. Fa'altu, and I did it. Fa'altuhu li, because. Okay, why? Because for and because are interchangeable. You can say that li when used with a verb. So I did it for I wanted it. For I want it. I'm doing it for I want it. I'm doing it because I want it. So because over here is a better translation, for is not such a good translation over here, but li when used with a verb can have quite a variation of meanings, okay, when used with a verb. So just accept it as it is. I did it because, over here the translation is because for li. I did it because I want it. Fa'altuhu li. Now I want it. Okay, this also is gonna take time. I want. The word is or I will it. So will, to will or to want, sheen, alif and hamza. This is the verb. So sha'a, this is pronounced sha'a. Okay. Now this is sha'atu, sha'ata, sha'ati, sha'a, sha'at. You get that? I want, you female want, he wants, she wants. So in present tense it will become asha'u, asha'a, asha'i, asha'at. By the way, this is the same insha'Allah and masha'Allah over here. Allah wants, what Allah wants, if Allah wants. So we will look at insha'Allah. The example insha'Allah, we will look at it at harf of lightest verb, because in is a harf of lightest verb. So fa'altu li asha'u. It should have been asha'u, but it became, because of li, it became asha'a, li asha'ahu. Instead of asha'uhu, it became asha'ahu. I want it. I want asha'u. I want it asha'uhu. Because of this li, this asha'uhu became asha'ahu. So that's it for today. I hope you could understand the examples today. A little bit that you didn't understand, which would be sarf and weak verb. Both are separate topics. We will talk about them separately. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.